Okay, then we're going to start, and we're doing it in alphabetical order, starting with the farmers themselves. Now, I told the guy that's first that he must be used to this by now, because throughout school, if your surname starts with an A, you're always going to be first. So in Nico Anderson, we've got Nico Anderson, who was born and raised in Klokkelaan in the Eastern Free State. He later attended school in Bloemfontein, where he also completed his national service and pursued an agricultural studies. After this, Nico worked for the Friesland Breed Society, Holstein Breed Society of South Africa for 2 years, doing inspections on farms and thereby sort of getting to know most of the stud breeders in the country. In 1984, he began farming in the Tsitsikamma region, where he milked for 30 years. And Nico grew to one of the larger dairy farmers in the Tsitsikamma in that time. After selling his land, Nico moved to Jeffreys Bay, where he still continues to reside today. I call on you to put your hands together for Nico Anderson. Nico, asseblief, kom vorentoe. Maybe when I start talking about you, if you can come forward already and stand in front here, it will help us on time. Okay, Andri sê vir my ons is nie haastig nie, so we've got time, but I know that the people want to kuier and talk to one another as they did with all the breaks we had today. Okay, our second legend is Mr. Ian Bacchus. Ian was born on the family farm Island View in 1949, the third generation of farm there. From hand milking to installing the farm's first machine in 1973, through 6 major upgrades, and finally a rotary parlour in 2001, Ian's commitment to progress never wavered. He pioneered a breeding program in the 1990s, lifting his herd to top standards. And in 1997 was joined by his sons, Evert and Henk, who are also here present tonight, or today, who continue the family legacy today. With the 5th generation soon to take up the mantle, Ian's influence will live on for decades to come. For his lifelong dedication and passion for dairying, we are proud to honor Ian Bacchus as a true legend of dairy. Our third legend is Rob Ballantyne. Please come forward, Robert. Rob Ballantyne began his dairy career in Alice in 1975, where he bottled and delivered milk himself each morning before supplying the kitchens of Fort Hare University. After his land was expropriated in 1982, Rob Ballantyne rebuilt from scratch in Humansdorp, installing one of South Africa's first rotary parlours and later pioneering crossbreeding and seasonal calving systems after learning from New Zealand dairy farmers. Never afraid to ask questions or try new ideas, Rob gave decades of service to the MPO, dairy producer boards, Amadlelo, Etreco, and as a founding member of Kuga Dairies. He mentored Fort Hare students, guided emerging farmers, and shared knowledge freely with honesty and conviction. Today, alongside his son Bradley, who's just won a prize here, or a raffle, Rob continues to farm with the same passion and work ethic that have marked his career. For his resilience, innovation, and dedication to others, we proudly honor Rob Ballantyne as a legend of dairy. I call the next member to the stage, Chris De Lange. Chris, staan op asseblief. In Chris de Lange, we would like to honor the ordinary, hard-working dairy farmer who came to the Tsitsikamma region in 1980 as a dairy manager for Mr. Van Vollenhoven and Delport, whom many of you will know of, at Bergplaats Tsitsikamma. In 1984, he also started dairy farming with us other Fingo farmers, as we were called, with Nico Anderson and company, and started his own dairy farm and was involved in dairy farming until 2003. In 2004, he started working for the feed factory of the Humansdorp Co-op in Humansdorp, where he was always willing to assist dairy farmers to make sure that their feed was always on time, because he knew how important it was for a dairy cow to have her feed when she was being milked. We honor Chris de Lange as a legend of dairy farming. Okay, next we come to one of the big guns, if I may say that. Mr. Trevor Elliott, you can maybe stand up and come closer. Trevor Elliott stands amongst the pioneers who transformed South African agriculture. As part of the founding family that introduced seasonal dairying to the Tsitsikamma region, Trevor helped establish one of the country's most successful large-scale dairy operations, Grasslands Group. Now recognized as one of the largest and most productive in the Eastern Cape. Trevor's bold vision led to more than robust milk production. He played a key role in bringing the SA Large Herds Conference to South Africa in 1999. His pioneering spirit extends to social impact. Trevor is the founder of one of the dairy industry's most successful BEE initiatives, fostering equitable growth and transformation within the sector. True to his legacy, Trevor is deeply committed to the future, championing mentorships and learnerships that have nurtured many of South Africa's top dairy managers. Through guidance, training and example, he has shaped generations of leaders in the field. I can carry on for much longer. I also know that Trevor was also one of South Africa's Farmers of the Year, but we honor him as a dairy legend of our province. The next legend is Mr. Peter Elliott. Peter Elliott was born in 1951 on Silverton Farm near East London. In 1970, he joined his father on the farm, family's 160-hectare farm, which combined pineapples with a small Jersey herd for cream production. In 1974, they purchased 50 Holstein heifers and installed a 6-unit tandem parlor, making their first fresh milk delivery 250 liters in cans on the back of a Toyota Corona bakkie. A year later, Peter met Alec Neve of Glendy Farm in Alexandria, who inspired him to switch from sorghum and oats to kikuyu pastures, shaping the direction of his farming career. In 1979, Peter married Michelle, who became an integral partner in the dairy, first managing the herd and later running the office. Peter also served as director of Model Dairies and later United Dairies, always innovative. He was among the first to use pineapple peel as feed, a practice still common today. Peter valued strong friendships, notably with the late Jackie Willows, another pioneering border dairyman whose legacy lives on through his son Jonathan, now part of our management committee. Now semi-retired, Peter has passed the reins on to his son Greg. Through his influence and passion for agriculture remain clear. His hard work and dedication stands as a testament for his lifelong commitment to dairy farming. We honor you as a legend of dairy farming. Okay, tonight we also want to honor another remarkable person in the dairy industry, Mr. Gerdy Landman. Buddha, kom vorentoe. Born and bred on a third-generation farm in Queenstown, home of the Mooivlei Friesland stud, Gerdy built a reputation as a breeder of champions. Over the years, his cows and AI bulls stood amongst the very best in the country. But beyond his successes in breeding, Gerdy has always been in service of his fellow farmers, never hesitating to speak up for the cause of the farmer. He served as a director on the boards of Toverkop, Parmalat, the National MPO, and that's before 1994, the National Dairy Board, and the Holstein Society, where he also held the position of vice president for some time. In 1993, he was chosen as Eastern Cape Farmer of the Year and went on to receive the honor of National Farmer of the Year, a testament to his dedication and leadership. Through ill health, has since meant that his son Chris has taken over the farming operation. Gerdy continues to apply his deep knowledge of genetics and love for it through breeding his racing pigeons. Gerdy, tonight we salute you for your lifelong contribution for dairy farming and the legacy you have built. The next is Mr. Jan Louw. Our next legend nominee was born in... Sorry. Jan, jammer. Our next legend is Nigel Locke. You're on the same page as Gerdy, and I was a bit overwhelmed. Sorry, Nigel. The next legend nominee is a first-generation farmer who has given his all to the South African dairy industry. Mr. Nigel Locke's journey began in 1982 in the Tsitsikamma, where under the mentorship of the late Mr. Toby Meyer, he built his farming career from the ground up. Over 3 decades, he became known as an innovative and forward-thinking farmer, embracing new technologies, building partnerships, and freely sharing his knowledge with others. Nigel served as both vice chairman and chairman of the MPO, contributed to the Large Herds Conference. Most recently, he guided the Humansdorp Co-op through a successful merger with SSK, strengthening the agricultural future of the Eastern Cape. For his vision, leadership, and lifelong dedication, we proudly honor Nigel Locke as a true legend of dairy. Jan, dis jou beurt. Thank you, and sorry for that one. Our next legend nominee was born into dairy and carried his family's legacy with distinction. His grandfather was amongst the first to supply milk to Dairy Bell in Cookhouse, and Jan himself took over the family dairy in 1974. Over nearly 50 years, Jan served on Dairy Bell committees, milk study groups, and the MPO, while also achieving breeding success that placed his herd amongst the very best. Jan Louw was known for producing record volumes of milk. With the Louw family supplying Dairy Bell for over 90 years, and his son John, today a respected veterinarian in the area, Jan's influence continues to touch the dairy industry. Since 2020, he has remained part of Smoordrift Dairy, carrying forward his lifetime of dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring Jan Louw, a true legend of Dairy South Africa. Our next candidate is Mr. Steve Maree. Please come forward, Steve. Stephen established his dairy in Addo in 1976 and became a lifelong member of the Ayrshire Society, later serving on its council and as editor of the Ayrshire Journal. In 2012, he was honored by the Society for his decades of loyalty and contribution. His leadership extended widely, holding directorships in the PE Show Society, Addo Show, United Dairies, Cape Dairies, and Samelco, where he was instrumental in pioneering tanker advertising, introducing Tetra Pak packaging, and advancing water waste solutions. For over 45 years, he has been an active member of the Alexandria Study Group, mentoring and supporting young black farmers. Stephen's legacy continues through his son Stuart, who has expanded the family farm and dairy to over 1,000 cows, marketing milk to Woolworths through Fair Cape. As a long-standing MPO member and Eastern Cape director, Stephen has travelled internationally to bring innovations back to South Africa. For 50 years, his passion and dedication have shaped the dairy industry, uplifting fellow producers and working tirelessly towards the goal of self-sufficient South Africa. We honor you, Stephen. Our next legend is Futa Oxenham. You can come forward, Futa. Our next legend nominee has given over 40 years of passion and service to the South African dairy industry. From commissioning the very first rotary parlour in the country, to travelling widely in search of genetics and performance breakthroughs, Futa Oxenham has remained true to his craft and his values. Known for his love of the animal, his openness to new ideas, and his commitment to sharing knowledge, Futa has inspired countless farmers and colleagues over decades. Through Futa's footsteps, which is now the company he has established himself, where he trains people on farms and so on, he hopes to leave a lasting legacy for an industry that has given him so much. Tonight we proudly honor Futa Oxenham as a true legend of dairy. The next legend is Mr. Clive Pattergill. Clive Pattergill began his farming journey on Blue Gums Farm in 1959. Working alongside his father in a true mixed enterprise growing green beans, cabbage and tomatoes, while milking 50 to 60 cows entirely by hand, with no electricity in the dairy until 1972. Everything was done manually. In 1982, Clive was introduced to artificial insemination by a local farmer who taught him the skills that would transform the herd. By improving genetics, the dairy became far more productive and profitable. Vegetable farming was phased out in 1994, and the family focused solely on dairy, expanding from a small 16-point herringbone that milked around 90 cows to today, where Blue Gum Farms milks 500 Holsteins and Jerseys in a 40-point herringbone dairy built in 2016. We honor you, Clive, as a dairy legend of the Eastern Cape. Thank you very much, Grant. Our next nominee, ladies and gentlemen, is a true master of Holstein breeding, Mr. John Sieberhagen of Wait and See Holsteins in the Craddock district. John runs a high-performing herd, maintaining an impressive level of productivity under Eastern Cape conditions. His herd includes more than 46 cows that have topped 100,000 kilograms lifetime in milk production, and some nearing an astounding 136,000 kilograms. Wait and See has produced national top-ranking cows and bulls, and his cows endure, averaging 4.6 lactations, with many still milking strong in their 8th lactation. John chooses genetics built for our climate, blending strength, longevity, and adaptability, even using, in the old days, Taurus semen to enhance hardiness. His excellence was confirmed when he and his son were named National Master Dairyman in 2021. For injecting genetics, brilliance, and resilience productivity into South African dairying, we are honored to present John Sieberhagen as a true dairy legend. John, thank you very much. I can just say that when I was in the army, John and I played rugby against one another in Oudtshoorn, and that's when we actually met for the first time. Maybe he's still afraid of putting his head into the loose scrum. Okay. Our next legend, ladies and gentlemen, our next legend nominee is a systems thinker, Mr. Trevor Simpson, a mentor and collaborator in the dairy sector. Trevor of Hollowdean Farm in Alexandria. Trevor's holistic approach integrates pasture, herd, and people into a unified system, built on the principle that a farm is only as strong as its team. He spearheaded the Kikuyu Research Committee, fostering on-farm trials to improve forage performance across the region. Trevor's leadership extended beyond his own field. He founded and managed the Treco Buying Group, empowering about 70 farmers across the Eastern Cape and KZN with purchasing power and access to quality inputs. Through systems thinking, research, and collective action, Trevor has quietly transformed the dairy landscape. Tonight we honor Trevor Simpson as a true legend of dairy. We are close to the end of the dairy farmers. Our next nominee is Sakkie van der Merwe. Sakkie, as jy kan vorentoe kom asseblief. Sakkie van der Merwe was part of a group of farmers who in the early 80s each began dairy farming from scratch in the Tsitsikamma Humansdorp area. From the start, these farmers had a spirit of collaboration and a willingness to learn from each other. Sakkie was involved in the founding of the ATO Farmers Association and among the first financial study groups. He was an early adopter of practices such as minimum till farming, rotational grazing, and seasonal calving. He freely shared his knowledge and was always open to learning from others. His judgment and experience remain relevant and valuable today. He still holds deep affection for the workers at Sandwater, his farm, and they for him. Some of them who have been with him and in their service for more than 35 years. Sakkie, we honor you as a dairy legend in the Eastern Cape. Now we come to the last of the farmers for tonight, Mr. Jerry van die Kerk. Swaar, you must come forward. Jerry began dairying in Bedford in 1969 and went on to shape both cattle breeding and pasture farming in South Africa. Jerry imported Friesland bulls from Holland and had a major impact on our herds. And in 1998, he was elected to the SA Holstein Council. His Brakfontein herd was the second oldest registered Holstein herd in the country, until he embraced crossbreeding in 2005, showing his constant openness to change. A pioneer in pasture-based farming in the Tsitsikamma, Jerry's story also carries a touch of irony. His father spent 20 years as vice president of the Holstein Breed Society of South Africa, opposing Holsteins, or the old Friesland Breed Society, opposing Holsteins. Yet Jerry's very first Holstein insemination in 1978 apparently produced one of these top cows ever. And later, when his own son, Johnny, crossbred jerseys onto Holsteins, Jerry welcomed the change. Always pioneering, always learning, and always leading. We are proud to honor Jerry van Niekerk as a true legend of dairy. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said in my opening talk on the legends, we also have people from industry and other fields, not necessarily farmers, who made huge contributions to our business and to our farming. The first one of them, Mr. Alex Archibald. Now tonight we honor a man whose name is woven into the very fabric of South African dairy, Mr. Alex Archibald. Since 1962, Alex has worked alongside Eastern Cape farmers, evolving them from the 500-litre tanks and bucket machines to 30,000-litre tanks, rotary parlors, and the most advanced herd management systems you can find. Through Northfield Engineering, he built the country's largest distribution network, introduced countless firsts, and brought global technology to local farms. For more than 70 years, Alex has been an innovator, a pioneer, and a steadfast friend to the dairy community. It is with great pride that we honor Alex Archibald as a true legend of dairy. Mr. A. The next member, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think needs any introduction. He has meant a lot to to most of us in our businesses, and to mine in particular, when I was really on the brink of stopping dairy farming and moving back to America, or to America, I've never been there, to go and work there. Mr. Jeff Every, please come forward. If we think of Jeff, I just think of someone who's really a financial doctor, and he fixed up many of our farms and businesses. The paper here says this year's legend nominee is a man whose name is synonymous with transformation, and we know he's done that too. Mr. Jeff, he was the force behind Amadlelo Agri, and through a blend of financial discipline and inclusive leadership, he's nurtured gifted individuals into standout dairy managers. Jeff's spirit of mentorship, collaboration, and economic empowerment has transformed minds, farms, and futures. His role as a dairy group director broadens his impact even further, ensuring that our sector becomes stronger, fairer, and more sustainable. For reshaping the industry and uplifting others, we are honored to present Jeff Every as a legend of dairy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before I pass the mic to our regional manager who's going to do the last presentation, I would just like to say that we also decided that we are only going to give these certificates to people that are present here today and tonight. We've had nominees for the following people that could not be here tonight, and therefore we will let these awards stand over until next year. But I wish to invite every one of you to really come forward with names. You now know what the criteria are and what we are looking for. But I think it's fitting that we also really honor our people and our producers and our achievers or contributors to our business in dairy industry. The nominees that are unable to attend are Edgar Brotherton, George Lake, Norman Smith, Mike Moss, Willie Du Plessis, Dorfred Ferreira, Johannes Vermaak, Ad Erasmus, and Mr. Sarel Wasserman from Tsitsikamma. With that, I'm going to hand over for the last presentation to Henri, and it's someone who has really meant so much for us in Tsitsikamma this year, and therefore we want to honor him as also a legend. He's much younger than all the others. He doesn't make the cut of 65 years old, but we feel we must give him something. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I think for everyone who knows me would know that I don't really like speaking on a mic, but for this guy I'll make an exception. So this last award goes to a man who technically disqualifies from the Legends Awards due to his age, but I think everyone here would agree that he's really worthy of an award. Not only has he been our state vet in the area for the past 12 years, but he's also the vet who saw us through foot and mouth disease during the past 2. So from my side, I had the privilege of working alongside him, and during this time, I can honestly say that without his dedication and commitment, we would have been in a much different situation than we are now. He tackled this crisis one test, one inspection, one result, one quarantine liftment at a time, and stood firm when others didn't. Tonight, Jared, we want to thank you for everything that you have done and continue to do for the farmers in this area. Without you, I truly believe we would have been far worse off. So may I ask everyone in this audience who wants to salute Dr. Jared Stradon to please stand. Jared, it doesn't look like you'll be buying drinks tonight.
Okay, so I need to hijack this honorary awards here. There's somebody that we've missed. Oh, Don, there you are. Don refused to have an award as a legend, but I am overriding that. He can't refuse because he is actually a legend in the dairy industry. So Don, against your will, congratulations. You're not going to... When you've done the good that you've done and helped and everything, you're not going to escape it that easily because you are here. And I've seen you on your outward missions with your camera around your neck and going to get information, come back, share it, do all the pasture cultivation, rota, what you call it, mulching and things like that. But anyway, we're not leaving you out.
Thank you, Murray. Henri, anything else? We are now inviting you all to pizza and food and drinks at the bar, but Henri will maybe just say the last word, please. Oh yes, we would like to thank our people at the desk here. Thank you very much for a great job that you've done. Also the streaming out to people who couldn't attend the meeting in person today. Thank you very much. I think we can give them a big hand as well. Thank you. And then to everyone who was here today, thank you very much for attending. And let's do this every year and really have a nice get-together and kuier as best we can. Thank you very much.